Welcome back.
Yeah.
We got 3 of us on set today.
Yeah. One's
you, me, him.
And then an asshole. Yep.
Why is he being an asshole, Jake?
You want me to go down the list?
I kind of do.
We ain't got time for it.
The viewers at home might be a little entertained.
You guys love seeing a dog on camera.
Even if he's an asshole or not, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, more Finn, and we're like, no more Finn, no more Finn.
We're good.
Sorry, buddy. But today, with all 3 of us, we're getting into this. Militiaworks rifle. A lot of people have probably never heard of Militiaworks, which is totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into this and why we're doing this rifle, what do the people at home need to do?
Spay and neuter your pets. We don't need any more things like this, so that would be advised.
Who was the talk show host that would always say
Bob
that?
Barker. Price
was
is
it?
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Yep, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
So anyway, 1911 Syndicate is a real estate company. I know you hate hearing that in every video, but that is how we keep the lights on. So if you're looking for the ultimate way to support the channel, you just let us know when you need real estate help, unless it's a private shooting range, in which case please do not email us about that. And then Patreon really also helps keep the lights on, because this is a channel that, you know, we have little sponsorship things that we do here and there, but it is really largely predominantly self-funded. So anyway, a couple ways to support the channel. Beyond that, we've got Sly Tactical, a bunch of different companies that we have linked down in the description of these videos that you guys can check out and support them, supports us. Everyone wins.
Everyone wins.
Rock and roll.
Plus, if you just want to throw cash at us for Patreon, we'll take your cash.
100%. All day.
It's not really cash, I guess. You make the payment. Same, right?
Same.
Semantics. So Militiaworks. And kind of before we get into this, I just wanted to do like a little background of why we chose a smaller company, and that's no disrespect to Dane and the guys at Militiaworks.
Yeah.
But when we first started out, a lot of big companies kind of took gambles or risk on us.
Yeah.
And let us review their products or send us stuff. And we were chit-chatting one day, kind of planning out content. And I was like, you know, what if we kind of start doing that for smaller gun companies? Like just a way to give back to the community.
Yeah.
Like it must have been 2 or 3 weeks later, Dane emailed us.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of, I can't remember, but yeah.
Yeah, so we decided to kind of give back in our small way, I guess, by taking a gamble on smaller companies.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like, hey, we're gonna 90% of the time bring you guys like all the stuff that you want to see, and like, you know, your Glocks, your B&Ts, whatever it is. And then it's like, hey, here and there, it's fun to feature smaller companies that you may not have heard of, and the product that we feature, it may be a piece of shit, it might be great, I don't know, but we'll give a not give a chance, that sounds egotistical, but like, hey, let's feature something from a company that's lesser known, which is the case with Sly Tactical, and that's turned into one of our favorite products.
You literally took that right off of my notes.
Well, there we are.
Yeah, we took a chance on Sly Tactical, great company, and I mean, it's the best sling on the market, and they're blown up and doing great things. So not guaranteeing that with every smaller company that we review, you know, but the idea behind this is because inevitably we're gonna get, well, how does this compare to a Type A, or how does this compare to a Knights?
Yeah.
My response to that is this. It's another option of a quality rifle. Okay. I would put this in the category of like BCM.
Okay.
What else? What other companies kind of in that?
I'd say there's BCM.
You know,
drawing a little bit of a blank right now, but yeah.
$1,300 to $1,800 range.
Sure.
But not like a, well, what would you have? Or because we get a lot of choose one over the other, and that's not the case with this. This is another option of a high quality gun, in my opinion, thus far reviewing it, that you can throw in your armory or take a gamble on, and we took a gamble on it, they took a gamble on us, and we'll kind of jump into it.
Rock and roll.
Cool. So the premise of this kind of, you know, we had a couple emails back and forth, and then Dane gave me a call and we jumped on his website. And he was like, if you, on our website, let's go through my models. This is the Dissident rifle on his website.
Okay.
And he said, what would you like in a rifle? So we started going down the list. And so basically we're gonna work tip to butt on this thing, like we always do.
Someone's gonna be so mad about that.
And we'll go from there. I'm just gonna do a good parts breakdown. So obviously, because this is what we do, we suppress as much shit as we can because we're gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a society.
So we have a CGS Helios Ti QD.
And Ti is what?
Titanium, Jake. So this shaves, I mean, it cuts the weight of this can, because we reviewed the standard Helios months back. This cuts the weight of that can literally in half.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to answer your question, yes, we will be doing a review on that because I answered someone's question on that yesterday. Yeah,
Yep.
We'll have a review coming on that.
Yep, definitely. It is set up for QD with the dead air chemo system, which CGS uses on their cans. It's what we use on your standard Helios. It's made out of Inconel instead of titanium. Kind of one of the things with that is we shaved a bunch of weight switching to titanium with this because this is a full-length 16-inch barrel.
Yeah, it's a long ass.
So it's a long gun. The problem is the added weight is made up just in the chemo and the collar that you have to use.
Sure.
That chemo and collar are the same weight as the can.
Wow, that's crazy.
So interesting little fact about that. So that's the can that's on there. We got underneath it the dead air chemo. It's the brake, right? 16-inch ballistic advantage modern series barrel. It's made out of 4150 chrome mauve. I'm a big fan. You know what that is?
Oh, I talk to people about it all the time.
Fascinated with that chrome mauve stuff.
Yep,
It's a 1-in-7 twist. It's properly heat treated and stress relieved, so it's a very, very good high quality barrel. We got a superlative arms adjustable gas block. So this was the part that I added to the build list. Dane was looking at getting adjustable gas blocks, and I told him, you know, we shoot a lot of suppress. I'd like an adjustable on there. He's like, well, what are you guys running? Due to Type A, we got introduced to those superlative arms adjustable gas blocks, and he's like, hey, I'll order them, I'll figure it out, we'll get it mounted on the rifle, and so that's the gas block that's on there. This gun is from day one tuned for that suppressor with your 2 to 3 o'clock ejection pattern.
Cool.
And this gun has only been shot suppressed.
As it should.
As it should. So I literally mounted it, took it to the range and zeroed it. From day one to today, it has only been shot suppressed and not cleaned. So gotta make that very clear.
As it should.
The handguard is your BCM MCMR, their M-LOK rail, which, let me move my hand out of the way. Most people know what that is. We got your Magpul grip panels on the side with your BCM CAG hand stop.
Yep.
Moving down, going to Aimpoint T2 on a spur mount. Did you know Spur makes aimpoint mounts?
Actually did not know.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about this mount because I figured, yeah, Spur.
Funny. I did not know they made aimpoint mounts.
Much like all their other mounts, they guarantee return to zero if I ever take this off when mounted properly.
Cool.
So the upper is a forged 7075 T6. He laps the receiver face for improved barrel seating, which he told me is important when you start to Cerakote and anodize stuff to make sure everything meets up better than it should.
Okay.
Because, you know, as you add coatings on there, thicknesses change.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And if I'm incorrect on that data or that point, go with this, guys. That's the way I understand it. I'm sure some scientist is going to get in the comments and break it down.
No scientists watch this nonsense. They have better things to do.
Well, individuals that think they're scientists.
Well, yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, well. He also uses a process to mate up and seat the barrel extension, and he dry film lubes it all so it's all mated up and there's no like grinding points.
Dry film lube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big fan.
Again, I can't say enough good things about the dry film lube process.
It's in my nightstand. It's on my gun bench.
100%.
stuff.
Hotel bathrooms.
The lower is same thing, 7075 T6 aluminum. He has something cool with this is he integrated a bolt release on this.
Yeah.
Did you play with that at all? Well, no,
did.
you're left-handed, so.
Well, yeah, the lefty bolt release. That's my lefty bolt release right there.
No, it'd be on that side, buddy.
Well, you're talking, that's mag release, son.
Yeah, but you wouldn't use your right hand to hit that.
Well, my reload sequence as a lefty.
Do you do that slightly different?
Yeah, let me see your gun real
Yeah.
quick. For
Educational
purposes. Many of you won't
purposes.
give a shit about this, but sometimes we do get comments like, I actually like hearing some lefty perspective. So cool, here you
Yeah.
go. So on most ambi guns, and Chris will go through this in terms of the parts that are on it, but essentially your mag release would be there. So you would be mag in, right? You would drop your mag. So I'm gonna aim this way, okay? So don't walk
Oh,
right.
I see. I understand now.
So
go ahead.
essentially I would drop the mag comes out, mag goes in, and then
You hit that with your thumb.
bolt release right there.
Just like I do on the left side.
And then back out, and
Perfect.
we're back in business.
Okay, cool. I still am doing mag changes the same way. I have tried to switch over to using my trigger finger to hit that. It's gonna take a little bit of training to get used to. I do like that he added that feature though.
Sure, yeah.
It makes it ambidextrous.
Do you know who makes that?
I can't remember and I didn't write it
Couldn't
down.
tell. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I apologize guys. I know that it does have a name and a company, I just can't remember. I'm sorry. We used, on this, he reams the takedown pins to make sure that even with Cerakote, it all meets up real nice.
Yep.
That it's tight, but not too tight.
Yep, ream.
You want just the right tightness, right? The trigger, which this is my first time hearing about it, same as yours. I told you about it last night. It's a Schmid machine and tool, 2-stage. They MP3 code it. And I was asking him about that, and he's like, dude, they make a bunch of parts kind of up where he is. He tries to locally source a bunch of the parts too, as much as he can, which is kind of cool.
He's where? Based out of where?
He is Michigan.
Okay.
Yep. Right? Now you got me guessing. Sorry, Wisconsin.
Same.
Yep, same. It's all the same. Something with a sin, right? But that Schmid 2-stage is a 4.5 pound trigger, 2-stage. I don't really feel a need to replace it. I've shot, we're probably at 14, 15.
You've had that for a couple months.
Yeah, I'm probably at 17 to 1900 rounds. Huh. And I might be right at 2K.
Okay.
So that trigger's kind of been broken in, worn a little bit, and I won't replace it. I've been very happy with it. It's ran just fine. I've had no issues.
Yeah, unless stuff's just like basic ass mil spec triggers. In my experience, most other triggers you put in, you're like, it's good enough.
Yeah. Yep. There's that saying, good enough, right?
Yep.
The ambidextrous mag release on here too is the Troy Industries one, which is awesome for guys like you and me doing mag changes. It benefits both of us.
Yeah, even if you're shooting opposite shoulder, if you're an orthodox shooter, but you're shooting the opposite shoulder, you know?
Yep.
Cool.
BCM, this is their Mod Zero grip with BCM 4x4 charging handle. Okay. All this is bronze, bronze Cerakoted. Everything is all the same color. We used a 7075 T6 buffer tube with a billet steel QD end plate. And this is properly staked and re-blued. So usually when you stake stuff, there's a little like chrome color right there. He re-blued it so it's all nice and seamless. It looks, it's the details, right?
I love a good detail.
Love the details. And then what's that white mark right there for, Jake?
I'm gonna assume it's some sort of, so that in case it starts to rotate, you're gonna see that it's backing out.
You got it. An added upgrade that he does is he'll put anti-rotation marks on all the parts that need them.
Yeah, all the pins. Yeah.
So that way, if stuff starts to back out, you know that it's backing out.
Cool.
I know a bunch of dudes in the military do that. A bunch of my other buddies that shoot a ton do that just to kind of rather have it there and not need it than realize I'm out shooting and see it back out and you had no clue.
Oops.
So, so price, the base price of this rifle is going to be $15.99.
Okay.
With kind of the added gas block that I had, this model as it sits exactly like this, minus the optic, of course, and the suppressor. The way he sent it sits at $18.40.
Okay.
So here we're going to start getting into why I think that price is justifiable.
Yeah, because that's the big question.
Correct.
Of course, is like, okay, cool, yeah, I got all the parts, but like, what's the dude's name over there?
Dane.
Dane. So Dane, if you've seen our channel, take no offense to anything that I say. The question that all of our viewers will have, so I'm presenting this to you, and you can.
Dane's well aware.
To them, is like, well, why do I give a shit about this when
Yeah.
there's BCM or whatever?
Correct. So why you give a shit? So we have had other similar companies that we've mentioned on the channel. Are we allowed to mention those?
I don't even know where you're going with this.
Trajectory Arms?
Sure.
Yeah, similar. So I would put him in the same category as Trajectory Arms. It's a parts build of high quality parts that a guy who's an absolute, and Dane knows this, I say it with all love and respect, absolute nerd with AR stuff.
Okay.
Much like Alex, Dane likes to get into the nitty gritty, all the minute details that you and I, frankly, I'm not smart enough to remember. You just don't care.
No, my brain's not that good.
Yeah. So why I think that's important is he is going through all the pieces. He micrometers and measures everything, makes sure the bolt face meets up to the barrel extension. He then marks those, so as he continues to build rifles, he knows which bolt face goes with which barrel. Like, that's the first thing he does.
Cool, nice.
His dad is an engineer. It's a family-run business. Dad's an engineer, so he helps out with micrometering and kind of measuring everything, making sure everything meets up how it should.
Is that how you say that?
Micrometer.
Micrometering?
I mean, I made that word up.
I know.
It sounds good, though.
Does it?
I think it does.
It's debatable.
Micrometering.
Micrometering. Neither here nor there.
Look,
I
was almost a doctor, okay? So just relax.
You took phys ed in high school. That doesn't mean you're a doctor because you did 3 pull-ups.
My first impression with this rifle is I had it transferred to a gun store, and right out of the box started kind of playing with it, checking fit and finish, no wiggle, everything was mated up properly. There's no, I mean, some people might say that that's not like a good indicator, but again, this is a smaller company that's a parts build. First impressions do mean a lot, right?
Of course.
So take it out of the box. Presentation was nice. Dane is unapologetically very Christian, and I do appreciate that about him. He does not shove it down your throat, though. The reason why I'm bringing this up, he included a Bible in the box.
Oh my goodness.
With some scriptures that mean something to him, and kind of his testimony on Christ, which, whether you like that or not, that's your thing. I just appreciated the fact that he's unapologetic about it. And he's like, hey, this is something that's important in my life.
I know some people love it.
And
I quote Corinthians, I quote Corinthians often.
Which verse? Stop.
One.
We're going to get struck by lightning if you continue. So knock that off. But the reason why I bring that up is he included a Bible with his testimony in there. For this build, he put in a breakdown of all the parts lists. So right out the gate, I grabbed the gun, got the parts list, and started going through it. And I was like, oh yeah, he's right. Oh yeah, here on the list, this is true, all this stuff. So he doesn't do that with every rifle, because when you get on his website and build it, you know what parts are going on the gun.
Okay.
But he did, I asked him to do that for us because for filming purposes, it just makes it easier.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So also in there, he included the wrench to adjust the gas block, 2 magazines, my QD sling mount.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Yeah. And just obviously the gun lock, all that good stuff. But he had a nice little goodie bag in there for me. So nifty, yeah. Like it on the magazine that came with it, it was a metal mag. It had his logo laser engraved on it, which is kind of cool. Again, details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So long story short, why this matters is smaller companies that have the time, the ability, the budget, what else? Just the overall, their business model is making sure everything fits together, because they're, as a small company, able to do that.
Well, and also when you're small, you becoming big depends on how you perform when you're small. So it's like, yo, if you can't do a fucking good job when you're tiny, how you gonna do when you gotta make 1,000 guns?
You literally took that right out of my notes.
For those of you that don't know, essentially what we do is like, I shot this gun for the first time today. I barely shot it just to get an impression so I could at least contribute to the conversation. But it's like, Chris does a review and I basically sit here and learn. I don't really know anything about it, and vice versa. So if you're like, I have no idea anything that Chris is saying in this video.
Yep. So kind of wrapping up, final thoughts on this and why I think that this is a viable option. You get a one-on-one personal relationship with the builder.
Cool.
Which, I don't know about you, but have you ever had a question about your Knight's rifle and called Reed Knight?
I have not.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Because you can do that with Dane.
Yeah, I would like to think Reed would pick up my call, but...
He'd pick up my call. He wouldn't pick up your call.
Well, how dare you.
I think this is a viable option because, like I said, it's in the same category as a BCM, but what you're getting is, instead of a batch of, say they make 500 rifles and get one to quality control it.
Yeah.
This is quality controlled one of one, right?
Yeah. Sure.
So you get to pick the parts. He is going through all the parts, making sure they all fit together. If they don't or something's off, he gets another one and fits it. So you're getting a parts build that is semi-custom. Would that be the right word?
Yeah,
Or
I
a
think
custom
that's fair.
parts build with an absolute AR nerd in a
Sure.
loving way.
Yeah, it's all
making
fair.
sure all those parts work seamlessly together.
Yeah, I mean, look, ARs are, they're Lego pieces. You know? I
It's
mean,
Legos for adults.
Yeah, so I mean, and Glocks are very similar. So there's a million options for what you can do with ARs. You can do parts builds. A lot of people build them themselves. Some people go to the Knights or whatever. Like there's no. I think that's something for people to get. Because those questions of like, well, why this over that? You're looking at it the wrong way. It's like, do you get that there can be a lot of good things inside of one category?
Yeah.
Or it's like, well, why would I get a Glock over a VP9? It's like, well, they're both good. I mean, I don't know. Buy whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing with this is, again, smaller company, he's getting really into the nitty-gritty details. You get to have kind of a one-on-one experience with, I think I could build a rifle by just watching YouTube stuff, but am I going to get into the minutia, start measuring stuff? Absolutely not. It's just not my personality. No. So instead, I find a company where we together pick the parts, he fits it, I take it out and run it and make sure it's all good to go.
Yeah.
The gun is 100% warranted for life too. So say after, a couple other 1,000 rounds, for whatever reason, I blow something out, ship it back, he fixes it, ships it back, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I think, again, it's another option. My first range trip with this, I took probably 200-300 rounds out to zero. It didn't take me that much to zero it.
Thank
but
God.
then I just, right, can you imagine?
Just keeps twisting shit. Eventually gets it right.
I will say, you know, the superlative arms gas block takes a little getting used to on tuning that.
Yeah, it's not hard, but it's just a little trial and error kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's just information you don't know and you just got to learn, right? So this gun did take me a little extra rounds to 0 because I'm an idiot. But other than that, I've been very pleasantly surprised with the rifle. I think one of the questions that I'm going to get is, would I trust my life to it? I've put, like I said, almost damn near 2,000 rounds through this thing without a single malfunction.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been cleaned. I've thrown a little bit of loot. I mean, look at that thing, dude.
Yeah, she's pretty cake. Yeah, that's a dirty gun.
She's a dirty bitch. She stinks too.
But so good.
So good, so good. So I've thrown a little bit of oil on it, like every 2 or 3 range trips. One of my Green Beret buddies, Anger Tab on Instagram, he ran a couple rounds through it and was like, dude, it's a great quality like parts build. Like it ran great. Recoil impulse is nice.
Yeah, ran very smooth. I'll say that. I mean, I've got very limited rounds through it, but ran very smooth. Gas blowback was pretty good, especially for me as a lefty.
Yeah.
Which is a combination of the can, the gun, the gas block, all that kind of stuff. But
and let's get into that a little bit. So like, if you're not familiar with suppressors, if you're a left-handed shooter, your face is right next to the ejection port, so you're getting more gas.
Oh yeah, we get gassed out.
Right-handed shooter, not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why also the adjustable gas block, especially superlative, bleeds off all the gas out the front.
Yeah.
So it does really mitigate a lot of that gas blowback that you get.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
It's also tuned properly. So I'm getting that 3 o'clock ejection pattern. So it's a win-win-win all around. So at the end of the day, I guess what I'm saying is I would definitely allow or, buy another rifle from Dane. I would definitely send people his way. And I think it's, again, going back to the beginning, another option. So if anyone is like, would you take that rifle over this? We're not doing that. It is another option of something that you could spend your hard-earned money on. And me personally, I'd be totally fine spending my hard-earned money on a Militiaworks rifle.
Rock and roll.
So,
cool.
Cool? You have any other questions for me?
No, I mean, I think this is a good thing for us to do time to time is go, okay, look, that's a company was not aware of prior to them sending us an email and going like, what do you think? And I mean, me and you kind of talked about it and we're like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Sure, we'll do it. And it's like, we can't do it every time. I mean, you got to fill up the bulk of the time with stuff that people are excited to hear about. But it's like, once, twice a month, like, just bring you something new. Bring you some new shit.
And this is a gun that I do get to keep, so pretty cool. And I'm not saying that, some people might say I'm biased then. I'm not. I told Dane right out the gate, if this gun shits the bed, I will tell people it shits the bed.
I remember the conversation. It was like, gotta be aware. We don't do no guaranteed, good reviews. That's not what we fuck with,
Yep, and without hesitation, Dane's like, I promise you that gun's gonna run, you're gonna like it, let's do this. Yeah. So thank you again, Dane. Thanks for Militiaworks and the small family-run business. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking a shot on us and letting us review your gun too. And I look forward to really beating the shit out of this rifle more and more.
Beat it up.
So, cool. That's it, everybody. See you next time.
In 10 seconds, answer me this. You have to give up your interest in bourbon, but you've got to replace it. Do you go with dark beers or gin?
Dark beer. Not debatable. Jen, I'm sorry, am I a 16-year-old girl that goes to like field parties?
Can I just choose to never drink ever again?
That's not an option.
Not an option. Motherfucker, you are German.
I don't like beer.
Dark beer?
I don't like beer.
German fuck? Are you kidding me?
What is gin in? Like Moscow Mules or what is it?
No.
What drinks is made with gin? I don't drink a lot.
Gin and tonic?
Oh, I've never had that, so. What else?
Gin fizz.
Never had that either. That sounds like a chick
Gin
drink.
will make your vagina dance is what it will do.
Then it's gin. I'm a gin fan then.
There it is. Problem solved.
I can't imagine Jake having a beer.
What?
I don't know.
You ever heard of something called Guinness?
You just offended his people.
You see this face?